Alright friends, this is a small review of Lenovo Slim 5 latest model, which comes with AMD Ryzen 5700U processor, 16 gig of onboard DDR2 RAM in dual mode, 8 gig plus 8 gig, 512 gig of SSD internal storage, that is M.2 2242 type, smaller module, 15.6-inch full high definition screen with 60 Hz refresh rate. This screen is not very color accurate. It is just around 47% NTSC on the color gamut, and the full keyboard along with the numeric pads. The trackpad is not glass, it's plastic, but it is very high quality and it supports Microsoft Windows gesture. If you see the profile, left profile of the laptop, you have the round barrel type charging port. You have a type C port, you have HDMI out, and you have audio 3.5 mm combo jack. This type C port on the left side supports power delivery as well, up to 66 watts. However, Lenovo does not deliver a type C charger in the box, which is unfortunate. They provide us the typical barrel type round charger. If they would have provided a type C charger, that would have been pretty awesome, because then you need not to carry those barrel type charger everywhere. You can use that charger to charge your mobile as well as laptop. But I've been charging this laptop with my OnePlus dash charger, with OnePlus 9 T mobile, with OnePlus 9 mobile dash charger. It also delivers around 60 watt, and it charges this laptop pretty quickly. On the right side, you have a full SD card reader, two USB type A ports, and that is it. There is nothing on the back. Let's see if we are able to open the laptop with one hand. As you can see, the lid is kind of tight, hence you have to use your both hands to open it. Even when you open the lid till this point, if you try to move it behind, the bottom part lifts as well. So it's kind of hard to open with one hand. But that's good in a way, because that means it's not very loose in that manner. It's rigid. That shall be good in long-term usage. The power button is separate from the keyboard, so there is no chance that you can hit it accidentally. And this houses the fingerprint scanner as well, which works very well. As you can see here, I just tap my finger here and it logs me in. And in my usage for around 5 days, it has worked almost 100% of times. There has not been any misreads. Now this was the physical overview of the laptop. Let's come to the performance part of it. So as you can see, this 5700U processor is a 8-core 16-thread processor from AMD's Den. The default TDP for this processor is 15 watt. However, vendors are able to configure this particular CPU from 10 to 25 watt. That is indicated by CTDP. Now, what amazed me here is how Lenovo has been able to manage this particular CPU, because when I show you the next results, so I ran some benchmarks. The most common benchmark that you would relate to is Cinebench R20. So let's see here. So the red line indicates the extreme performance mode, the orange one, the intelligent cooling, and the blue one, the battery saving mode. Throughout these tests, the laptop was plugged into the wall socket. As you can see, when I started the test for good 40 seconds, the laptop was able to draw more than 40 watt from the wall in the extreme performance mode. Then it dipped down to around 35 watt and settled there. In the intelligent mode, it drew around 32 watts for around 20 seconds. Then it dipped down and settled around 25 watts. The battery saving modes as the name indicates, was very conservative. It drew around 18 watt to start with, and then it settled around 14 watt, 15 watt for the complete test. Now, what's even better is the temperatures. Now, if you see this graph, in the extreme performance mode, the temperature in the extreme performance rose up to 85 degrees, which is not at all bad, considering this is a Ryzen CPU, and the threshold wherein the CPU will start to throttle down is 105 degrees Celsius, and it was nowhere near it. So it reached a peak of 85 degrees Celsius and then settled around 84, 83 throughout the test. For the orange one, this is the intelligent cooling. It achieved a peak of 75 degrees Celsius and then it settled around 72, 73 degrees Celsius for the complete test. For the battery saving mode, it was more or less around 60 degrees, 62 degrees for the complete test. You can also see the CPU frequencies throughout the test here. In the extreme performance mode, we can see the processor hitting around 4 gigahertz on all cores. At least 3.9 gigahertz on all core for most of the time, around 35-40 seconds, and then it dipped down and settled around 3700 megahertz for the complete test. The intelligent mode was more or less around 3700 megahertz, and then it settled down at around 3300 megahertz for the complete test. And the intelligent was around 3100 megahertz, and then it settled down around 2800 megahertz for the complete test. Now, typically what happens with Windows laptops or PCs is when they are plugged into the wall, they are able to draw a proper voltage or proper power from the socket. They'll deliver as they should, but as soon as you plug them off, the performance dips a lot, to the degree of around 50% in many laptops. And that is why Apple M1 laptops are so popular, because whether or not they are plugged into the socket or you are using them standalone, their performance is uniform. They do not dip down. And I was pleasantly surprised with this laptop as well. So as you can see in this chart, I ran the Cinebench R20 again in all three modes. Once while it was plugged into the charger and once it was plugged out. So as you can see here, in the battery saving mode, the scores was almost identical. It was within the margin of error. Again, in intelligent cooling mode, the scores were identical. Just in extreme performance mode, wherein the laptop requires the most amount of wattage, which it is not able to draw while on battery, the scores were not identical. But still, if you consider that laptop was on battery, it still achieved a very good score. And the performance dip while it was plugged in from the wall was just 6 to 7%, which is awesome in my opinion. So this is the sample from the included 720p camera. The sound that you are hearing is recorded from the internal microphone of the laptop. There are grains in the video captured, but I think it is possible for most of the meetings. Comes with 512 GB internal M.2 SSD. The read and write speeds of the SSD is shown on your screen. It's not top of the line, but it's not slow as well, and it has performed very well in my day-to-day usage. This laptop comes with 16 gig of soldered DDR4 RAM. So that is a dual channel RAM, 8 gig plus 8 gig. You can see the specifications and the timings of the RAM here. Now, according to the research that I have done online, and also I've seen a couple of videos from Jared Tech, who is a laptop reviewer, that this particular RAM module that Lenovo is using is not very fast, and particularly for the Ryzen systems, which is heavily dependent on the type of RAM that you're using. So just by replacing the RAM on his Legion 5 Pro laptop, he was able to achieve 10 to 15% more performance from the complete system. Unfortunately, in our case, we cannot upgrade the RAM because it is soldered. But in my general usage, the laptop has been pretty awesome. But I'm just letting you know what's up there in market. The battery life of the laptop is very, very good. I'm a very heavy user. I typically use this laptop for my office's work. Most of the time, using on PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Visio, watching YouTube, media consumption, mails, Outlook, etc. I do a little bit of simulation work as well for my office's work, which consumes a lot of CPU. After all that, I could easily fetch out around 7 hours of usage from this laptop. So that is very, very good in my opinion, because my prior laptop, which was an Intel 9th generation i7 9750H processor, could barely manage around 3 hours. So 3 hours and 7 hours, it's a huge difference for me. So that's all, folks. That's all about this laptop. I hope my review would help you to make a decision whether to buy this laptop for yourself or not. I know I haven't done much of the gaming aspect here, because I'm not much of a gamer, but if you have a particular request, I can download that game for you and try to show you my crappy gameplay and maybe answer a few of your questions. If you have any other questions as well, let me know in comments and I'll try to answer those. One more thing, I purchased this laptop directly from Lenovo's website. It's Lenovo's corporate website. I got this laptop for around 62,000 with 3 years complete protection. That is 3 years premium support plus accidental damage protection. If you were to buy this from Amazon or Flipkart, the typical price is 67,000, and then you have to shell out more for the complete accidental damage protection for further years. So I'll suggest that you go and buy it from Lenovo's website. The price there was also 67,000, but they were running some promotions wherein you will get 5,000 cashback if you use your Yes Bank credit card or HDFC credit card. And also the accidental damage protection coverage is pretty cheap there directly on Lenovo's website. It costed me around 2,200, wherein if I would buy this from Amazon or Flipkart, it would cost me upwards of 4,000 rupees. So that's a pretty sweet deal. So that's all, folks. Hope you like it. Bye bye.